What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me for another video. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, thanks again. You're awesome. Today, I think it's about time. We're gonna do the lift on the truck. I think, probably. Car's out of the way. If you're joining me for the truck video, I have a 240SX, also RB25 swapped, full motor, fully built motor. I also have a 190E. It's gonna turn into more of a project, but right now it's kind of like stagnant. Let's look at the truck quick. This is how she sits now. That's how we look. Alright, so let me pull this in the garage and I'll get you some measurements of, we're only doing the front right now because that's what I feel like doing. Let me pull the truck in, hold on. Kind of in the garage, so I didn't bother pulling it all the way in, but it does fit. I do have a video doing these lights down here, if you want to check that one out. I do have a video of that. Car was completely in the garage for that. It was raining, horrible day out, but a lot nicer out today. So I'm gonna leave the garage door open, half out. That's the end, or sticking out past the garage, doesn't matter. Only issue I'm seeing right now is maybe that's gonna hit on the way out. It is just the antenna. We could probably unscrew that and screw it back in. Let me get measurements. All right, floor to fender, just under 37. It's about like 36 and 7/8-ish. Let's check the other side. I'm assuming it's going to be about the same. Yeah, just about the same. So that's our before measurements. We're going to crack these wheels loose, jack the car up, and start taking stuff apart. Let's talk about the lift first. I think we forgot about the lift. So the lift kit, I just unpackaged everything. This is the Peak suspension, front coilover upgrade. Peak suspension. There's all the coilover stuff. This is the spring rate for the gas engine. They do have a spring rate that they recommend if you have the diesel, and I think if you're running a heavy bumper and winch and stuff, but we don't have that stuff. So we got the regular gas engine spring rate, which I forget what the exact rate is, but you can look it up on their website. And the differential drop was cheap. I think it was like 40 bucks or something, so might as well do that with it. This is not sponsored, by the way. Just gonna try to show you guys that it's actually pretty simple to do this. I haven't really seen any videos on YouTube about installing this suspension, this kit, lift kit, whatever. I do have an add-a leaf on the shelf, but I'm not doing that right now. Just doing the fronts. So I'm gonna get going. I'm probably just gonna try to fire out one side, and then I will film the other side to show you guys how it goes. So let me get this car jacked up on jack stands, wheels off, and start working. Then I'll show you guys in a little bit. All right, so the other side is done. Really not that hard to do. I want to say I started at about 2 o'clock, and it's 3:45 right now. So like 1 hour 45 minutes to do one side. The main thing that took the longest was actually the spring compressor, removing the spring from the stock one and putting the new one on, the Eibach. But other than that, taking this in and out, maybe 10 minutes total. A little bit of troubles with the spring compressor. I'll show you the issue I came in. I'll show you the issue that I had, but it's probably that's probably like mainly because of the spring compressor I was using or have. So let me take this apart. If you follow the directions on the website, do I have all the tools there? Yeah, it isn't that hard at all. So car's up in the air, wheels off. You gotta remove the end link, tie rod. We're gonna loosen this bolt up for the whole like spindle hub assembly. Take these top bolts off. There's 18 millimeters up here, 3 of them. 2 15s holding the shock in, the whole strut assembly. Got to worry about the brake lines. You don't want to stretch them or leave it hanging on the brake lines. So that clip was 6 minutes and 12 seconds. That's how long it takes to take this thing out. Two things. You want a ratcheting box wrench like this, and preferably with the angle, because you have to get up in the top of the strut tower and loosen. So ratcheting, and if you can, angle saves, does wonders. And then the other thing that they don't tell you in the instructions, but I did, there's a 12mm bolt holding in a bracket for the brakes. I took that off too, just to give some extra slack with the brake lines, just so you don't have to worry about if they're hanging a little bit. As you can see, they're loose, they're not tight at all, so not bad. Either way, after you do all that, put the jack back under, lift it up, put the top bolt on the control arm back in, just to hold it so it's not hanging down. And yeah, so we're ready to start taking this spring off, which is the part that takes the longest. Alright, so the spring compressor that I have is one of these that go on the outside. I know that have these big contraptions. This probably isn't technically for this type of spring. I know it works. It worked on my WRX when I had it to change to the lowering springs, but this is what it's like. Try to get them opposite sides, even pressure, tighten, 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 tighten until it's you relieve pressure off this guy, off the top, and then that's a 15mm. Zip that off, then you could remove the spring, loosen this up, and then swap it over. So this is the annoying part. This is what takes a while. Alright, so forgot I was not recording. Spring is off. It's on the floor over there. Gonna look like this after you take it off. There's a dust boot. That dust boot comes off. That's good. Hopefully this isn't leaking. Dust boot comes off. These guys come off. This one and this one. Watch out, dog. Then we got to put this together. So if you ever want to adjust this ever again, if you go off-roading with water, or you live in the northeast where you get snow and salt, put some anti-seize on this. Before you tighten it down. Well, it's not really tightened down, but before you screw it together, put a little bit of anti-seize on it, then adjust it kind of where you want it, and then you put it on. So they don't really tell you that in the instructions to put the anti-seize on it, but coming from cars, when you put coilovers on, very good practice to put anti-seize on it, because I guess it'll seize up. So I had an issue with it with my 240. Previous owner that put the coilovers on didn't anti-seize them, and I couldn't adjust the ride height. Eventually I had to actually just put a pipe wrench on the coil, well, on the strut, and crack it loose. Obviously not ideal, but I am getting new coils for it soon, I think. Alright, now that we got the strut assembly pretty much ready to go, we got to compress this spring back here. One of the issues I ran into with my spring compressor, depending where you put the bottom one, you got to put it up high. Otherwise, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this. Otherwise, when you put it down, it hits the this collar here, and it won't let the coils sit all the way down. So just make sure, check it before you start tightening it down, because these things are pretty annoying to work with. I know they do have these big assemblies that you tighten it down, but this isn't a professional shop and I don't do this that often, so just make this work, and yeah. Thing I figured out, if you don't want to go crazy, If you don't want to go crazy tightening that down, you could always lower your spring perch just to give yourself some more slack, more room to work with. And then you could, then afterwards, just raise it back up with the spanner wrenches. So I'm gonna do that now because I'm pretty close, and these spring compressors are annoying, so just do this. This goes in. We're right there. We are right there. Not necessarily ideal to start it with the impact gun, but we're gonna see how it goes. Oh yeah. When you're doing with the impact gun, just make sure the shaft isn't spinning. If that starts spinning, stop impact gunning. Yeah, so I'm going to tighten this down a little bit more, and then I'll get this tighter. Alright, I'm done. Now I just got to raise this collar back up. While it's on there, hopefully I could, well, not hopefully. You're going to be able to do it. I just make sure you got the right one and just start turning. They give you another one to put on this side if you need. I'm just going to match the other side. The other side I have from here, from the piece, from part of this, the top of the bottom perch or whatever, to the bottom of this guy is 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to start spinning until we're there. Probably going to be a little bit. I end up actually putting some anti-seize on the washer that touches the top of the thingamajig, the spring compressor, and it seemed to work out a little bit better. This thing's all ready to go back in the car, so hopefully it will just be another 6 minutes. Where's that wrench? Hopefully it's just another 6 minutes to get this back in the car, and then we just put the wheels back on, take it up the jack stands, and then we could see how it looks. The only thing I forgot to do was, where did I put this? Was line this bolt up with the thing, so hopefully there's enough play in the whole assembly to make it fit, but let's see. If not, then it's going to take a little bit longer, and I'm not going to be too happy about that. Just tasting food. Just like any suspension work, whenever you lift the car wheels off the ground, you got to roll it around a little bit to get the true height. Springs will probably break in a little bit, so where the ride height is now might not be final because it will settle a little bit, but I'm going to pull it out of the garage and I'm going to take a look at it. We'll measure how far up we are, if any. Definitely feels higher. Just like sitting there, it feels like I'm looking up a little bit more. The tape measure, we may have to lower it. We may have to lower it a little bit. I'm also going to try to let the spring settle a little bit before I make any rash decisions like that. I believe we were right under 37 inches before, so let's see where we're at now. Floor to fender. Oh, we're not even up that high. We're less than an inch. More than an inch. Might just be unleveled driveway, but spring perches are even on both sides, so I'm just going to chalk that one up for the driveway right now. I will check it again in a couple days. Not to take any like really long trips with the truck until everything's final, because you're supposed to get an alignment whenever you do any like suspension work. So gonna have to make sure we are decent height wise, everything's even, then we'll get an alignment. I do have the ADA spring, the ADA leaf for the back, which will lift it, but I heard it also stiffens it up, so I'm not really looking to stiffen it up too much right now. I'm planning on using those like when I have to like tow my car, the 240. I could always throw those in the back as kind of like a little bit of a help, like a helper spring bag type deal, but to add a leaf. So overall install was pretty damn easy. If you're looking into getting one of these kits, if you know how to use some tools, you'll be completely fine. Just a spring compressor. If you get a decent one, I mean, you could go to a shop to do it, but they're going to want to do the whole thing, and they're going to probably charge you a lot more. You could always just rent the spring compressor. I think you just got to leave a deposit or something down, usually with a place like Pep Boys. Not too bad. Install pretty easy. You saw it took about 6 minutes to remove the strut assembly on the one side. 6 minutes, and it was about 10 minutes to put it back in, but that was mainly because that I didn't line it up putting it back together. For whatever reason, I wasn't paying attention to doing that, and I forgot to do it. Not bad. Drove it around the block. This side is still a little lower, but once again, I don't know if it's just the driveway. I probably should have turned the truck around and then remeasured, but let's look at this side, because this side is more level. Not too shabby. And this is the original side that we took the beginning shots at, the befores, so let's look at them again. Not too bad. I just remembered that I have the differential drop, the 1 inch differential drop to do. I'm going to wind up doing that tomorrow, so I'll film another video. If you want to see that's done, if you want to see how that's done, be sure to subscribe, because I'll probably post that one next, or I don't know when. I don't know when I'm going to post that one, but I got to film it, and well, I got to do it and film it at the same time. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you have any questions about installing this, once again, kit wasn't too hard to install. Once again, not sponsored. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Do a lot more with the 240 more often than the truck. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Hit the bell, and truck life.